Business with a servant's heart. Welcome to the podcast. Inspiration, motivation takes. Listen to the podcast. We're all about to talk about life. Our guests will share their life story. We want you to success in life and business. We're ready and we will start shortly. We're gonna talk about life. We're going to speak on business. You're gonna shine bright. We are going to witness. Business with a servant's heart. With hosts Steve, Ramona, and Ray. Inspiration, education talks. Listen to the podcast. Steve, Ramona.
Welcome, everyone, to Doing Business with a Servant's Heart podcast. Doing business in life with a purpose, serving others, and yes, achieving success. I'm your host, Steve Ramona. We created this show for you because we want everyone to be motivated, inspired, and educated to make an impact in your world. Not the world, because you hear that from leaders, and that's great. There's nothing wrong with that. But I always say start with your world, and your impact will start growing and exponentially grow. My guest is going to blow you out of the water. He's got a very cool first name to start out, but he is so passionate and motivated to serve and be a servant's heart. While you're listening to him today, I want you to think about how you will serve today and what impact will you create today while you're serving. But first listen to the show. Hold off on that serving for a second. I want to thank my sponsor, pitchdb.com. Be a guest on over 3 million podcasts, speak at over 11,000 conferences, and much more. Build your thought leader platform with a incredible opportunity to show who you really are. With that being said, as you can see, I talk about impact. You people have listened, you audience, you people, I sound like I'm talking now to you. You audience, I always think impact and servant go together. What my guest has done is built a program to do that, but do it all from the heart and passion. Money comes. It just does. When you have a servant's heart, it does. I want to welcome Jesper to the show.
Steve, I'm excited to join you today.
Jesper, I don't know, it's a name that resonate with me. It's where's that name come from?
So my family is from the Philippines.
Okay. Is it a Filipino common name or is it?
So my first name or my last name?
Your first name.
My first name, it's actually a combination of my parents' nicknames, Jess and Pearly. And then they put it together and came up with Jesper.
Jesper, I knew there was a cool story behind it, and that is a really cool story. Well, let's dive into leadership. You tell me, what does servant leadership mean to you?
Absolutely. Servant leadership is really rolling up your sleeves to be there for others. And speaking of servant leadership, I want to share a milestone. This year, I am celebrating my 10-year anniversary as an active volunteer for the American Red Cross.
Congratulations. Oh my God, that audience, now you took a servant heart to another level I've never been to, so I'm a little jealous. Keep going.
So it's servant leadership. An example, I remember the first role I took in my career at I was in the hospitality industry working for a travel company. And when it comes to servant leadership, it's being there with your team, doing things alongside with them. So in the travel industry, the summers get busier, and there are moments when we will need to step in and do overtime. And instead of leaving my employees behind and walking away, going home early, I will roll up my sleeves and join them with that overtime so we can get more done as we go through the day. So servant leadership, it's really rolling your sleeves up and being there for others.
The key word I heard from that is alongside, not behind, not in front, but you work parallel together. You slam a hammer, I slam a hammer, right? It's the working together. You have the expertise. That's why you're the leader, but the servant leader actually will help people grow. That's a big thing too. And here's one of my guests says, and you'll love this, Jesper. If somebody asks you if you're a leader, the first questions you ask is, who are you mentoring right now? And if you say no, that's okay, but really you're not truly a leader. So that should be your goal, is to try to find, some people you can mentor, family, friends, somebody on the street, doesn't matter. Well, maybe you don't want to do that, but absolutely do that. So when it comes to leadership, what is the big challenge for business owners?
The big challenge is, if you look at today, especially just how fast-paced the world is moving, it's really important to be innovative. And to be innovative, leaders really have to open up those communication channels to really give other people a voice to share the ideas, the insights, the perspectives. Because if a leader is in their own world, doing their own thing, just isolated, that's not really going to serve others. Because when that leader is just stuck in their own ways, as you heard the most dangerous phrase in the world, we've always done it that way. That is a dangerous phrase to live by. And when you encourage your team members and empower them to create that forward motion, that change, you're going to lead to more innovation. And then when you lead to more innovation, you'll get more ideas that can lead to, more products, more services. And when you have more products and services, that really opens up opportunities for more revenue that can really come into the company. So as far as the challenges that our leaders are facing, we need to be more innovative than we have been before, because that innovation really leads to change, especially
innovation.
in this fast-paced world.
Yeah. Jesper, that's powerful, because not a lot of coaches, especially leadership, talk about innovation, because that is huge, ever changing, ever evolving. What has the Red Cross taught you about leadership?
For the Red Cross, my role specifically is for blood services, and there's just a need. And in general, for the volunteer side, we need blood donors to step up and really give their blood. And then for the volunteer side, we need more people just to really step up and support that cause and provide that staffing. That way everyone has that support they need to really move the mission forward. So as far as blood donors, if you are willing, and able to donate blood, I absolutely encourage you to do so, because a pint can save up to 3 lives. And as a volunteer, every nonprofit organization needs support. It's not automatic. It's not magic. It really, a lot of work is done by the people that are really behind the scenes and pushing everything forward. So that's what we need in really just serving the mission of an organization, especially with the American Red Cross.
Yeah, what a great experience you had. And it's funny, I look at you, and I'm sure people tell you look so young. You say 10 years. I said, did you start at 5? No, I know you didn't. I know you're not 15, but when you say that, it's just, and I want to put this out there, being so young and going out and doing it, anybody can do this. You could be 15, 20, or 75 or 62 like me. It doesn't matter. It's ageless what you could do, especially with the Red Cross, right?
Yes.
So what are the changes leaders are experiencing today in maintaining a company culture?
With company culture, there are, especially with different generations, you're seeing a younger generation that wants to see that an organization has a purpose to it. Gone are the days when you can just set up a random operation and just build, profits from it. Nowadays, we're seeing more and more people, especially with younger generations, that want to know that the organization stands for something. So as a leader, and I know in an earlier conversation you shared about Simon Sinek and find your why, really finding that purpose that'll inspire your employees to make a difference. Because when your employees understand what you, your team, and what the organization stands for, they will feel it in their hearts to really make that change happen. Because if an organization does not have a meaning or purpose behind what it's doing, the question is, what is it really standing for? Employees are going to ask, what's the point? But on the other hand, if you do have something that you're inspired to do, your employees, your team, assistants, staff, you name it, they'll see that and they'll be inspired to make that change for you.
And how much of this crosses over to your personal life as a leader?
Oh, absolutely. In your personal life, finding your purpose and mission is just important. One of my favorite books is Success Built to Last, written by Jerry Porras. He is the co-author to Built to Last with Jim Collins. And in Built to Last, they talk about what a successful organization does to really get to their level. And Success Built to Last, Jerry Porras takes that a step further and brings that to your personal life. And what he realizes is that a lot of successful people, they do what they love and love what they do. Because if you do what you love and love what you do, it's easier to get up during the morning. You'll just report a higher level of satisfaction, and you just have a better idea of what to do during their day. On the other hand, if you're not doing what you love and you're not loving what you do, you're gonna find challenges in getting up. You'll be reporting levels of unhappiness in life, and generally you'll just feel this sense of just general sadness, depression. I don't want to say darkness, but I mean,
Yeah,
if you're struggling, then yeah, it can get to there. But again, you want to do what you love and love what you do, because if you do that, you'll really find that spark within you to do great things.
You just kickstart some people that have depression, that give them hope. And
Absolutely.
that's what I love about you, Jesper, is that you're talking about hope here. And it's a powerful tool. Passion and hope and purpose are also huge.
Absolutely.
When you look at a business, what do you think is the biggest challenge for them to have a servant leadership?
With a big business, what I notice, especially with established businesses, is the sense of hierarchy. Many organizations just are structured in the way they do things, and they have to follow a certain process, certain structure, they have to follow certain policies. Generally speaking, I know why that's there. It's to provide that sense of stability. But in today's fast-paced world, if you're not responding to change as quickly as the more innovative companies, that can lead to a lot of challenges and obstacles that'll come to that organization. So a great way is to really find areas where you can be creative, and that includes communications. Even though you have rules and policies in place, you can still open up ways for employees to share their ideas. Maybe it's a comment or suggestion box. Maybe it's having an open forum, but there are ways to really pull ideas from your people. That way you can get a better idea of ways you can move forward with new ideas that can make changes for the better.
I love it. It's you make it sound so simple. It's never simple, but the simple part is taking that first step, and that's what you do. The accountability. Hey, did you do this, Steve? And this great. Okay, let's work on it. And that's what I love. It's kind of like being, my coaches in sports. And I don't know if you played sports, but that's all they did is they made you accountable. Now you're just doing it in business, and practicing your technique, skills, and things that you need to work on. What specific strategies or methodologies do you employ to help teams understand and leverage each member's unique strengths and working styles for improved cohesiveness and effectiveness?
So what you first can do is provide this sense of belonging and inclusion. And what I mean by that is get to know your people. As a leader, especially in meetings, instead of just jumping straight into the agenda, what you could do is do an icebreaker, get to know your team members. What's your favorite movie? What's your favorite song? What do you like to do on the weekends? That's a start, because once you get to know more about your employees, you know that they're human. And as humans, there's just so much about them that you can learn. And once you get to that point, you can do team building activities to really get a sense of how people work together. You can do leadership assessments so they can get that self-awareness of what really motivates them and drives their behavior. And other ways is you can have just open conversations to see, we did this yesterday. How do you think it went? How should we move forward? You want to open up those conversations. That way you can get a better idea of ideas to try next time. And when you have new ideas, again, you're finding new ways of innovating.
I love that. It's communication with your staff, with your employees,
Absolutely.
with
Absolutely.
your board, whoever it may be. Yeah, and I think that's lacking. I think people are so fearful right now, they forget about that part. Again, it's simple, but it's hard to take action.
Actually, I like how you brought up that point. Leadership, the simplicity, but difficulty with leadership, it's that nuance. And I think with leadership, the reason it's difficult is because there are just so many moving pieces when you're dealing with leadership, just staff with different motivation levels, the programs and processes that you're trying to oversee. And then at the same time, simple, because there are these time-tested values and principles that really guide the behavior of the best leaders. And when you combine those two, that finding that balance, that's where you can find the effectiveness. Again, I like how you found the nuance between difficult and simple, but if you can find the balance, that really brings effectiveness and efficiency into your leadership, especially as a servant leader.
Yeah, I appreciate that because you hear it like I do. It's not that simple for me. Oh my God, you could run a marathon and that's that simple for me. Then there's a whole different ways you can go with it. But again, anybody could take action, could pretty much do almost anything.
That's right. And it's all about taking that first step.
Yeah, exactly. See, that's why the guy's brilliant. This guy's absolutely brilliant. That's why he's on the show. I love him. So I got to ask you, I'm almost reading the books behind you. It looks like personal development is a big part of your life.
It is, especially as a leader.
Yeah. Why do you think it's so important?
For me, personal development, I remember just growing up, and actually, story I want to share, an early memory that my mother had of me. She shared it with me a couple of years ago. An early memory is, I think I was either 5 or 6, and I said, when I grow up, I want to be a leader. I mean, when you think about that, that's a cool thing. But at age 5 or 6, what does a 5 or 6-year-old know about leadership? But over time, I discovered that I was just stepping into just different opportunities. So in college, I was taking on extracurricular activities. I was involved in new student orientation, student government, and then I was, after graduation, took on a role as a team supervisor, and then just gained more leadership insights throughout my experience. And then I was inspired by that and decided to get my master's degree in leadership. And then, so I have a corporate and academic background in leadership. And then just because of that, I've just seen so much growth in that experience. And that's really, I mean, as you can see behind me, it's just inspired me to continue that path toward personal development. So it's just brought a lot of just personal change and transformation.
Well, I feel dumb right now. No, I'm half kidding. I'm not dumb, but that's, I mean, you just took it to the next extreme. I believe when you serve, just do 1% more serving, and that's what you're doing. So somebody's listening to this going, Jesper, that's a cool personal development story. I love how you do it. How do I get started?
Absolutely. A theme that I've heard throughout our conversation today is that taking that first step. I recommend if you have an Audible account, Kindle, Amazon, I encourage you to look through the personal development page on the books you see there, and then just browse around. And if you see anything that excites you or piques your interest, take a look at that. Look at the preview, and if it's really something that you would like, buy it and read it, and then see where it takes you. And then after that, move on to the next book and see what lessons you can take from that. So take the first step and see where it takes you.
Great first step. Now, how do you read? Do you read like you pick a certain time every day, put it in your calendar, or you just read when you're available?
I have a morning ritual, and reading is part of it.
Wow. Talk about that. What is your ritual?
Yes. So my ritual, when I get up, I will meditate. So about 10 minutes of meditation. And then after meditating, I'll get breakfast. And then after breakfast, I will read several pages of a book. Then after that, I will look at my agenda for the day. So it warms me up. So learning is a big part of my mornings, and that's part of my routine.
Yeah. Okay. You just taught me some of this. So I guess me watching boxing matches at 6 o'clock in the morning is not meditating. I'm kidding again. I know. I love you guys. I love you. You're such a great spirit. And that's what I want in a coach. And audience, I'm saying this, if he resonates with you, this is what you want, a passion and energy to serve. Value comes in many forms. And right now he's bringing this value, which is very cool. This is going to be hard for you to get so many books back there, but I'm sure people are thinking, let's use your 3 favorite books that somebody should start with. That's your suggestion.
Okay, so the first book is what I mentioned earlier. It is Success Built to Last with Jerry Porras. And as I mentioned, that discovering what you love, do what you love what you do, because when you stick with that philosophy, you'll just have easier days. Another book that I enjoy reading is The Last Lecture by Randy Pausch. And he talks about his lecture as a college professor, and his general message is leaving a legacy. And especially as a leader, you do want to leave a legacy. You want to leave this world better than how you first stepped into it. And then third, I would say one of my favorite authors is Malcolm Gladwell, and I think I would recommend Blink. And he talks about just different psychological principles. And when you learn those principles, that'll make you a more effective leader. Because as far as his research goes, he just looks at different ways, something can just make you think and feel. And when you apply that, in a leadership sense for positive change, that can lead to great results. So those are the 3 books I recommend.
Yeah, Gladwell, the Outlier book is good too, but Blink is very good too. Yeah, those are 2 different ways. But thank you for doing it, because I know as much as you're reading, you're an expert in reading. You read a lot. You've got these degrees, so it's always good to give people a starting point. But, start at 5 or 10 minutes. Don't try to read a whole chapter if it's too long, or don't read at night if you're sleepy. And that's my thing. I use my Kindle because it just sees better. Nobody should tell somebody how to read. To just whatever you're comfortable with. I know people that read and listen to the Audible at the same time. They comprehend more of the content, and that's the beauty of this personal development. You can go on any journey you want. We're getting to the end here, so I want to get a little personal with you. Can I get personal?
Sure, you can. Go for it, Steve.
What does Jesper do on a Friday night?
Just what Jesper does on a Friday night. Actually, what I like to do is I love to travel. So, I mean, as of today, I would say I'm trying to do all 50 states. I've reached 49.
Wow.
So
that's impressive.
Right. So
yeah.
Alaska is the last one on my list, and expecting to reach it this summer. So I really love to travel. And for me, I don't really need a detailed itinerary. I just like to really get lost in a city and then just walk around and discover. So, I mean, whether I'm traveling or not, when I'm out and about, I just like to explore the world. So that's what I'm doing on a Friday night, just exploring.
Man, shout out to my best friend, Mike Sullivan, who's my best man, known him 40 years. He taught me that. He said, Steve, let's go somewhere and let's just walk around. He did it with his kids. So I love that you said that. I think that's a great way to travel, learn on your own pace. One more question. This might be a little harder. What do you do outside of your work? Your reading, your rituals? What do you do besides travel?
Great, excellent question. I'm actually an avid runner, so I am a marathon runner, and
wow,
I have been training a lot. So I think when I get to Alaska, I think I'm going to sign up for the marathon there. So
how many have you run?
So 14, and then if I reach Alaska, that'll be number 15. So I'm just really passionate about staying active and just being fit and just moving around out there.
I was in the health club industry for 20 years, so I know all about it. I never ran marathons. You look at me and my friends who are listening go, yeah, you can't run a marathon. No, I'm just not built that way. And I made major kudos. And audience, if you're not out there clapping, please do, because that is an achievement beyond what most people can think.
And again,
this has been go ahead.
I was going to say, with that marathon, for many people, it seems like a scary goal, but as we mentioned as a theme earlier in this conversation, just take that first step, put your running shoes on, maybe go for a quick walk and see where that goes, but stay consistent. But it all starts with that first step.
That's why you want to work with Jesper, what he just said. He makes it simple and breaks it down for you. Incredible show. I mean, I can't believe it's time's up. But how can people reach out to you after listening to all this great stuff?
Absolutely. The first way is to check out my website, familyconsulting.com, or search for me on LinkedIn. Search for Jessper Maquindang. Feel free to connect. I'm always happy to have a conversation, whether it's leadership, personal development, professional development, travel, running, you name it. Happy to open up that conversation and learn more from others.
That's fantastic. Hey, everybody. He's told us some great things, some information that you might want to grasp. Use the forward and reverse buttons on the platforms that you're working on, whether it's a podcast or YouTube. And if there's a part of it that's like it's just resonating with you, that's going to change your life or make a difference, go back and forth on that. Listen to it over and over again. I'm sure, Jesper's read multiple books a number of times just to get different perspectives. Same thing in the podcast. I do not like, I mean, probably too blunt here, but people telling me I don't listen to a podcast because it's too long, I don't have time. Then listen to 5 or 10 minutes, go past the starting point. I'm breaking all the rules here. Jump right into the podcast and just pick up 5, 10, 8 minutes of it. Me and Jesper want you to watch and listen to the whole show if you can. But if you can't, that's okay. Just part of it. Because if it makes a difference in your life, we're both going to be extremely happy. Don't forget about my TV show. It's Fridays at 2 p.m. Pacific, 5 p.m. Eastern. Together We Serve. It's on Roku, Apple, coming on Samsung and LG streaming services soon. And let's get the doing business with a servant's heart message out. Wear a hat, hoodie, t-shirt. I've got a link in the show notes. Grab some of those and walk around and have people go, what's doing business with a servant heart mean? Hope you mentioned the podcast, but even more so, which is more important to me, talk about what a servant heart means and how we can transform people to have that servant heart in an everyday part of their life. And with that being said, me and Jesper, thank you so much for watching or listening to our podcast, Doing Business with a Servant's Heart. We'll see you all on the next episode.